Picture this. You've been at the company for 3 years. You're good at your job. You're not a problem. You've never been a problem. But something's been happening over the past few months. Your manager has been getting harder to read. A colleague made a comment that you're pretty sure was a complaint about you, and there's been a quiet shift in the room whenever you walk in, something you can't quite name. So you do what a lot of people do. You decide to talk to HR because HR is there to help, right? That's the whole point of HR. They're neutral. They're trained for this. They exist to protect employees. At least that's what the onboarding presentation said. So you go in, you explain the situation, you're careful, you're professional, you're honest. You tell them about the shift in atmosphere, the comment from the colleague, the manager who stopped including you in certain conversations, and HR listens. They nod, they take notes, they say things like, "We take this seriously, thank you for bringing this to us, we'll look into it." And you leave feeling like maybe something will change. 3 weeks later, nothing has changed. Your manager knows you went to HR, the colleague knows you went to HR, and now the atmosphere isn't just shifted, it's cold. What happened is that you made a mistake most employees make exactly once. You confused HR's job title with their actual job. HR does not work for you. HR has never worked for you. And today, I want to explain exactly why and what to do instead. Let's start with the uncomfortable structural truth. HR stands for human resources, not human rights, not human representation, resources. You are, in the language of the department, a resource, the same category as budget, equipment, headcount, output, something to be managed, allocated, and when necessary, reduced. HR's job is not to protect employees. HR's job is to protect the company from the liability that employees can create. That is a completely different thing. When HR investigates a complaint, they are not asking what is true. They are asking what creates the least legal, reputational, and operational risk for this organization. Sometimes those two questions have the same answer. Sometimes they don't. And when they don't, the second question wins. Every time. This is not cynicism, this is function. HR is a risk management function wearing a people-first uniform. They have policies, they have processes, they have language designed to make those processes feel caring. But the policies exist to protect the company. The processes exist to create documentation that protects the company, and the caring language exists to keep you cooperative during both. HR is not your enemy, but they are not your advocate. They are the company's first line of legal defense. Now let's talk about the single most dangerous misconception in every HR interaction: confidentiality. When you go to HR, many people assume the conversation is private, that what they say stays in the room, that HR operates like a therapist or a lawyer, someone bound by a duty to you personally. They don't. HR's duty is to the organization. That means almost everything you say to HR can, and in many cases must, be shared with the people you just told them about. You go in and say, "My manager has been excluding me from key decisions. HR now has to investigate. Investigating means speaking to your manager. Speaking to your manager means your manager now knows you reported them. And your manager now has every incentive to start building a paper trail in the other direction." This is not paranoia. This is sequence. It happens in organizations every single day. The person who filed the complaint becomes the person being watched. Even when HR does find something credible, even when they believe you, even when the evidence supports your account, the outcome is almost never what you expected. Because outcome is not about truth. Outcome is about what the company can afford. Can they afford to lose the manager you complained about? If yes, the outcome will be carefully worded, appropriately sympathetic, and absolutely useless. You will be told the matter has been reviewed, that appropriate action has been taken, that the company takes these matters seriously, and nothing will change, except the atmosphere. Let me walk you through 4 situations where employees go to HR expecting protection, and what actually happens. Scenario 1, you report a manager, the manager finds out, you become the variable. The manager, who has more institutional value than a complaint and gets a quiet word, you get a process. Scenario 2, you flag a toxic team culture. HR listens carefully. They may even run an anonymous engagement survey. The results get shared with leadership. If the toxic culture is being driven by someone who delivers results, the culture stays. The survey results go into a file. You go back to your desk. Scenario 3, you raise a pay equity concern. You've done the research. You bring data. The conclusion says compensation is within the acceptable range for your role and experience. You are told your next review cycle is coming up. Nothing changes. Scenario 4, you are put on a PIP, a performance improvement plan. HR tells you this is an opportunity to reset, that they want you to succeed, that the plan is there to support you. It is not. A PIP is a legal document. It is the company's documented evidence that they gave you a chance before they terminated you. Going to HR at this stage to explain the PIP is unfair is like asking the prosecutor to be your defense lawyer. In all four scenarios, HR is doing exactly what they are designed to do. They are managing the company's risk. The fact that this sometimes looks like helping you is not the same as actually helping you. Now here's where this gets complicated because a lot of HR people are genuinely nice, genuinely warm, genuinely well-intentioned. They got into HR because they care about people. And that is exactly what makes them dangerous. When someone is kind and attentive and says the right things, our nervous system relaxes. We become more open, more honest, more revealing. We say things we wouldn't say to someone who felt hostile, and everything we say becomes information. The kindest HR person in the world cannot advocate for you if advocacy conflicts with what the business needs. They can feel bad about it, they can lose sleep about it, and they will still write the memo that confirms the decision because the structure wins. It always wins. First, understand when HR is and isn't the right tool. HR is the right tool when you are dealing with something that creates legal liability for the company, harassment, discrimination, safety violations, illegal activity. In those cases, HR has a legal and reputational incentive to act. Use that alignment, document everything in writing, keep copies externally. HR is the wrong tool for interpersonal friction, for feeling undervalued, for a manager who's difficult, for a team culture that's off. In those cases, you are handing the company a map of your vulnerabilities, and maps get used. Second, build your case before you need it. If you think something is wrong, document it now. Dates, times, specific language, witnesses, not because you are planning to fight, but because if you ever need to, the person with records wins. HR documents everything. You should too. Third, know your external options. An employment lawyer consultation costs far less than most people think. An external employment tribunal or labor board exists precisely because internal HR cannot be fully neutral. If your situation is serious, the right person to talk to is not in the building. Fourth, use HR's language against their process. If you are in an HR process, you are allowed to ask for everything in writing. Do not be cooperative in a way that isn't documented. Do not agree to anything verbally that isn't confirmed in email. The process is designed to create a paper trail that protects the company. Make it create a paper trail that protects you too. HR is not your enemy. Most of the people in it are decent, caring professionals doing a difficult job inside a system that was never designed to put your interests first. But good intentions do not change institutional incentives, and institutional incentives do not change because you are likable, reasonable, or right. The moment you walk into HR expecting an advocate, you are walking into a negotiation unarmed. You are giving information to the other side and calling it a conversation. Use HR the way HR uses you, strategically, documentedly, with a clear understanding of whose interests are actually being served. So, tell me in the comments, have you ever gone to HR and had it go wrong? Did the person you reported find out? Did the PIP come out of nowhere? Did the investigation conclude with a carefully worded nothing? Put it below. And if this video describes someone you know, send it to them before they walk into that office. I'll see you in the next one.